Good morning. It's about 5:30 on Tuesday, June 15th. And I just left my room and I'm going to start to walk to the beginning of the Towpath hike. We had a terrible rainstorm last night. Lots of rain, thunder, and they actually issued a storm warning. I think there was a risk of tornadoes or something last night. But just wanted to show, here's the canal that is right outside my room, and yesterday you can see that it was empty. This is the Potomac, where the trail begins. And here's what they call the tide lock, so this keeps the tide in and out as it would go to back here. And you can see it's pretty much filled in with dirt, so it's really not performing its function. I go here by the zero marker. This is the beginning of the towpath. It is exactly 5:40 now, so I did want to start, and it's about a half mile to get here. So, and that was the reason that I wanted to stay at the Georgetown house last night, so I could start so early and be so close to the marker. So we're going to start now. It's moving quite well, actually. There's a lot of current for here. Yesterday this was kind of stagnant, so the water was definitely flowing out, and I don't know if that's affected by just the rainfall or with the tide. It's kind of hard to see here, but I'm alongside the highway walking along the trail, and you can see the canal how it's flowing due to the rain flow from last night. We'll continue on. And what we have here is, you can see that's where the canal is across the way, and this is the outflow into the Potomac. So this is where boats that were waiting to go out into the Potomac would exit when they opened up the lock, the tide lock. And you can see there's some remnants of a wood structure across the way, but pretty much it's gone here. Additionally, they have a lot of the rain flow or sewers overflowing here out, so this is obviously a way for drainage as well. So I've tried to recreate doing the whole trail as much as possible from here, and we're going to start now. Okay, I'm at the point where to your left you can see Rock Creek, where it joins, I guess, what is it called, the confluence, where it joins the C O canal, which is on the right, and then heads out toward that tide lock and the basin, which is called the Mole here, and out into the Potomac. So this is, I guess, officially the start of the C O trail, I guess, proper, or whatever you call it, because you're along the canal here. And you can see here the canal as I'm looking down it toward the remainder of the locks. So this is where I'm going to be heading and where I was staying last night. And you can see, I can see, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like 4 drop-offs, 4 locks. They're all in pretty close succession, and this would have been about an 8-foot rise or drop with each lock. Here's the marker. And there's the canal. And like I said, this is really a bike path for most people. They really cater to most people doing it by 2 wheels, where we're going to do it by 2 feet. So it's nicely brick lined here and well marked and established. This is the first lock, and obviously they're well marked here. So this is where a barge, after completing its journey, would have pulled in. They would have closed that lock there, but would have been open. This lock here would have been open for a canal boat to pull in. That door over there would have been closed. And they could raise it, or obviously, in this case, they would let it pull in, let the water drain, and then the barge would continue out. And not that I want to close it, but you can see how easily I can actually move these with a little bit of effort. They have them tied so that people won't close the lock. But amazing how you can make something so large, so heavy, and be able to withstand such force, and yet it's easily manageable by a person, or I imagine one lock tender. Okay, I've reached past the Georgetown house, so I'm basically on a new part of the C O that I haven't been at, which is pretty much most of it. You can see it's much wider here. I don't know if that was to accommodate maybe two barges at the same time, or them stacking up as the lock tender opened and closed the locks. I was just thinking what a pain it must have been to be a lock tender or in a boat, Captain, every time you pass one of these bridges, like the one I just passed, you'd have to unhitch the mules, I guess, because they can't go under the bridge with the boat or the barge. Like this one they can, but the last two I passed, the overpass is too narrow. There's no way that the mules could have stayed with the barge. So I'm thinking you would have had to unhitch them, pull the barge through, then rehitch them and pull it down, just to go, basically a block and do the same thing again. I don't know if they would probably maybe take a shortcut and do that with poles or something. You can see a portion over here of the canal is being repaired. Just love the stone. And you think this is all, 150 to 170 years old. It's pretty impressive what us humans can do when we're determined and motivated. I'm passing under the Francis Scott Key Bridge, and up ahead is the area where the aqueduct is, as I'm making my way out of Georgetown and heading basically north toward Cumberland. It's 6:20 in the morning. It's been a good morning. It's cool. It's in the upper 60s right now. It started out about 66 degrees, and it's probably closer to 70 now. But there's still a little bit of coolness in the air. Seen a lot of runners and joggers. I gotta say, it's disproportionately women over men out jogging this early or running. There's actually quite some wildlife here now. Here's another bunny or rabbit, and some ducks. You're looking at the Abner, I think it's Cloud Mill. It's one of the oldest structures along the trail, built in the 1800s, early 1800s, and was used as a mill to make flour, and I guess existed in the time of the canal. This is Fletcher's Cove. It's a park. There are restrooms here, and you can see there's a bridge going across, which is I guess I think the bridge was named after the mill owner. I'm going to continue along the path. This trail and I guess the Capitol Trail kind of go right alongside each other at this point. And you can see there's the Capitol Trail. I guess it's a bike trail for jogging. I don't know how many miles it is. but it's been alongside for a while. They're within view of each other or very close. I stopped once to put a little more KT tape on my foot, my right foot, and the heel. I feel a hot spot, or it might be a blister. I put some KT tape over it, but it's still actually what I always say, talking to me now. So it's going to be a long day with that. We'll see how it looks. And this is what I'm looking at. And I believe I just left Georgetown in Washington, D.C., and I've crossed into Maryland. Walking along the path, the Crescent Trail, which I guess used to be the B&O's railroad, didn't belong to the Chesapeake in Ohio, is what they made the Crescent Trail out of. And on my right is the Clara Barton Parkway. Clara Barton, famous, starting the Red Cross, famous nurse, and then of course settled in this area and lived here. Just past mile number 5, and I've come to where we cross over the canal to continue on the other bank now. So I'm walking past lock number 5, and you can see the rest of the canal behind it. So only a small portion of the water gets to come through. And they do have the lock chain so that someone can't move it. And I imagine with all this water behind it, it would take considerable effort. And I'm going to let you see what I see a little bit longer. And just want to say I'm really... The only way I could describe it, I guess I don't know if it's correct, the juxtaposition of the urban environment and the canal here. You know, sometimes you're walking along and, you know, especially downtown Georgetown, or even as I was walking out of it, you're hearing all this road noise, the traffic, kind of like I'm hearing now, a little bit of road noise as I'm walking along the parkway. And then sometimes it'll just drop off and all you hear is the birds and just the sound of the water, sometimes even flowing. And then once again, all of a sudden that traffic noise will come back in. It's just, you know, you're in a really populated area. You're not rural at all back there in Georgetown. And yet there's still pockets where you can almost lose yourself and imagine that you're out somewhere and there's no one really around you, or not many people around you. And then you might get a runner or a jogger or a bike rider come by and bring you right back. But I would imagine the canal was probably a draw in itself with all the activity. I don't know if it was quiet like this. I imagine there would be barges going up and back quite steadily. So I don't think it was quite so peaceful. But this is a great resource in the area. You know, I could see you coming here to enjoy yourself or just escape or just kind of sit down and mellow out a little bit and kind of lose yourself for a little bit. So I've gone about 14 miles now. It's almost 11 o'clock. The terrain has risen off of the canal. It's definitely gotten more rocky and with a little more elevation. Because there's several parking lots and areas around here, I've noticed an increase in use. I have run across a lot of people walking, hiking with their dogs and bike riding. And there are a couple of other trails in the area for people to use. So the area does see a lot of usage. I'm at the Great Falls on the Potomac. This is one of the reasons why the canal had to be built, was because it's impossible to get a ship or a barge up and down. So in the early times when the British first came here, this was a barrier to development. Well, I'm at lock number 21, Swain's Lock, named after the Swain family that occupied it for some time, and I'm at the Swain's campground. And I got here about 12:45 today after doing just under 19 miles. So I walked probably a little over 7 hours to go those 19 miles. On the towpath, though, I only did basically just under 17 miles. So, but the other 2 miles were going up and back, looking at sites, or the hike in order to get to the towpath in the first place. So, went well. I'm definitely tired. My feet are hurting me. That KT tape, the cheaper, thinner KT tape that I had bought, it was pre-cut. I didn't like it. Has resulted in 2 blisters on my feet, one on each one, left and right. Drained them each twice so far. So I'm hoping that tomorrow morning I'll be able to hike without too much pain and discomfort. I'll probably end up draining them again tonight before I go to sleep, and I may have to drain them in the morning when I wake up, but we'll see. I'm waiting till about 6 o'clock or so, and then I'm going to make myself some dinner. Today it's going to be Alpine Fares mountain chili, and the decision to have this meal was very technical in the fact that this is the heaviest meal that I'm carrying. It's 6 ounces, so I'm going to get rid of the heaviest meal first so that I can lighten up my pack. Behind me you see part of the Potomac River. I have a beautiful campsite by the water right off the Potomac. It has everything I need. I picked this one over some of the other ones. The ground was a little bit muddy in some of the other ones, but here it's a little bit grass. It also happens to have a picnic table, which they all do, a fire ring, and all the tent sites seem to have a grill, but this one looks like it fell over or is knocked over, so it's missing it. But other than that, it's got everything I need. There are some porta potties over here. The only thing that's bad about the site is there is no water, and I'm not sure why. All the other sites seem to have water. There's like 2 or 3 that do not have water. This is one of them. So about 2.5 miles back, I filled up both my water bottles. I'm carrying about 1.4 liters. Not a lot, but the next water is I think 4 miles ahead. So I'm going to try and make it today with that water. I have some I flavored, some I didn't, and I actually still have a Gatorade that I bought that I have not drank, but I've been carrying. So that's pretty much all left to do. Other than that, interesting day. I did see a lot of people, different sites. I saw some different animals. In the beginning, several rabbits. I saw some prints, so obviously there's raccoons, fox, squirrels, I believe all in this area. If there's bunnies around, I'm sure there's things that eat them. Other than that, I did want to make a mention of Southwest Airlines and my pack. It did make the trip with no issues at all. I was very happy and glad with it, and everything worked as planned. I got off the plane, went to baggage. My bag actually was the second one off the conveyor belt, amazingly. Never had that happen before. Usually I'm waiting until at least halfway to the end. I was able to take the carrier off, put the straps on, and start walking, as you can see in that video. So other than that, everything's gone pretty well today. Just like I said, I'm tired and I have those blisters. So tomorrow I'll put some KT tape on. 2 other tents here. So I'm assuming there's 2 other people that are staying here. But have a nice view here of part of the Potomac. I guess there's an island in the middle, so I can't see the other side, which I believe is Virginia. So that view is blocked today. But other than that, it's been a good day. Good first day. I'm on task. I went exactly to where I said I was going to go. And it definitely took me pretty much less than I thought it would be. So I kept a good pace. I think I did an average of like 2.6 or 2.8 miles per hour. I don't know. I'll have to look at that. But amazingly, my watch is showing like a 43,000 step day, which is just incredible to me, the amount of steps. But it makes sense. Tomorrow we're looking at 2 or 3 different possibilities on how far to go. A lot of it will depend on my feet and how I feel. I'd like to go at least as far. Minimum would be stopping at like the 30-mile mark, somewhere on there. I may possibly try to push on to another campsite that's at the 34+ mile mark. That's it. I don't have anything else other than thanks for watching. Appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch. And if you have any questions, comments about the trail, what I'm doing, my equipment, or anything in general, please feel free to do that below. And I'm hoping to be posting these videos as I travel along. Till we meet again. A short while ago, a couple of people showed up and came over to speak with me. One of them, his name is William. He's from Troop 773 in the area here, and they're having their little ceremony here, like a picnic and end-of-year ceremony. So all their scouts showed up here. They're trying to do it outdoors. They usually do it here anyway, he told me, but with COVID, obviously they're trying to keep it outdoors. So it was interesting. Nice to see scouting stuff. Brings back memories, and nice to see that the tradition continues. And they told me they'd be here a while, but they'll be out by 8. I told them they're more than welcome to take as long as they need and stay all night if they want. It's nice to see scouts. We discussed camping and my equipment. He's going to Philmont, which, for those of you who don't know, is a scout camp. But it's some of the stuff there is pretty intense in terms of hiking and doing certain activities. So he was asking about some of my equipment and some thoughts on it, and weights and different things. So we had a good conversation. So William, thank you very much for the conversation. Always love talking about hiking and gear, although I'm kind of not up as much as I should be on all the other things. So that's it.